We saw the champions, we saw the bands, we saw the cheerleaders, we saw the fans. They say on any given Saturday it's possible to win. So let's talk about the season from the start to the end. We saw the champions, we saw the bands, we saw the cheerleaders, we saw the fans. They say on any given Saturday it's possible to win. So let's talk about the season from the start to the end.
Week 4 of the college football season is here. Wow, we are reaching that point, folks, where your team is what their record says they are. Hey everyone, welcome to the No Huddle. I'm Tolly Carr. Lots, and I mean lots of FAMU and Southern to get to. That's the big game this weekend. It's a Jaguar Rattler takeover. But before we get to that, let's go back and settle some business from last weekend. Bowie State, Shaw University. See, what had happened was, let's go back to the 910. Our Wally Pitt is there to take care of that business.
No Huddle Nation, you already know who it is. It's your man, 50 Grand, Wally Pitt, coming to you from Raleigh, North Carolina. Now, I'm on the campus of St. Aug for a Shaw home game. Don't worry about it, it's complicated. But Bowie State came down from Maryland with the CIAA crown, looking to assert some dominance over Shaw U, but it didn't really go according to plan. Y'all know me, I'd rather show you better than I can tell you. Let's check out these highlights. Bowie's up 3-0 in the first quarter when Shaw's Torrin Campbell finds Daniel Bender wide open in the end zone. Shaw takes a 7-3 lead. On to the second quarter for some more of that good Shaw U offense. This time Campbell finds Marquise go route Gorham for the 75-yard score. Shaw Bears up 14-3. Bowie State looking for some offense and finds it late in the first half. Gaston Cooper hits Gordon Clark for 26 yards. Then Cooper finds Khalil Wilkins for a 12-piece. That sets up a much-needed 2-yard touchdown run from the aforementioned Wilkins. Bowie cuts the Shaw lead down 14-10. Now this play was ruled intentional grounding in the end zone, which is a safety, but you don't gotta take my word for it. DeAndre Hebron let us know what it was on the sideline, and I'm gonna need somebody to bag up this gif and serve it to the Twitter streets real quick. 14-12, Shaw clinging to their lead at the half. Now the Platinum Sound was channeling some of this upset energy during their halftime show. Now the second half of this one started off a little funky. First we had a blocked punt. Then we had a missed field goal off the upright, a fumble that led to another missed field goal wide right, and no points in the third quarter at all. But Shaw got the fourth quarter started off with some action. Marquise go hard Gorham gets the jet sweep, makes a cut, and if you're beside him, you're really behind him. 39 yards, 6 points, Shaw up 9, 21-12. Just under 8 minutes left in the game, Bowie looking to make a big play down the field, but Kevin Sherman reaches back and gets the nice pick. Shaw gets the ball back and the Bears are closing in on that upset. 2:53 left on the clock. Bowie State needs to make a big play, and they did just that. Blake Dove puts the pause on the punt. Ricardo Smith dives on it in the end zone. The Shaw lead is cut down to 2, 21-19, and the reigning CIAA champs are back up in this thing. Shaw was feeling all the pressure on their next drive as Bowie State held them to a quick 3-and-out. With only 35 seconds left to play, Shaw looks to punt it away once again, and once again Blake Dove gets his hands on the punt. Ricardo Smith catches it and returns it down to the Shaw 5-yard line. Only 12 seconds left for Bowie State to get up out of Raleigh with the comeback win. Gaston Cooper finds Dushawn David 8 yards, and you can go ahead and kill all that upset talk, Mo. Bowie State pulls it out in the final seconds, 26-21 Bulldogs. And if you know Bowie's head coach Damon Wilson, you know celebrating this type of win ain't really in his pedigree.
We're a family. We're going to win together, we're going to lose together, we're going to cry together, we're going to laugh together. But you guys showed me some stuff today that I was discouraged about. And I'm going to correct that tomorrow. Then you show me some stuff that I know I got a lot of pride in. Hey guys, what we scored 9, 10 points in a matter of 2 minutes or something crazy? We executed when we needed to execute. That's great, man. Man, Shaw is a good team. And we played Shaw I think it was 4 years ago, and I think we beat them about 50 points or so. Coach Jones is doing a great job getting those guys together. And I think our guys know, man, that we're going to get everyone's best. And so we must be ready to play at a high level every week. But these guys show some resilience today, and I'm excited about it.
Last weekend, I was in Alabama again to check out the Morehouse versus Mile matchup. I expected a shootout. Instead, I got a beat down. Maroon Tigers marched into Birmingham, but it quickly turned into Miles stomping the yard. Within the first 6 minutes of the first quarter, Miles already up 14-0. Santo Dunn with a nice run here down to the 1-yard line, but the SIAC preseason player of the year, just 11 yards on 9 carries. Next play, Dunn looking to dive in, but the ball ricochets off the back of his teammate's leg who was blocking for him. Terrible luck. Tough day at the office for quarterback Michael Sims as well. Just 3 for 4 for 16 yards and this interception. LeJean Cordier has Miles up 21-0, 4:44 to go before the half. And with time winding down in the second quarter, Wade Streeter goes 20 yards and through 2 Morehouse defenders for the extra effort score. Miles would lead as much as 38-0 in the second half before settling on the 45-21 win over Morehouse. The outcome didn't match the hype. Well, never fear. Morehouse and Miles are always going at it in something or another. You name it, they're going to beef about it online. And so we sent our Nia Sapp down to ride a little shotgun in Alabama to figure out why this rivalry runs so deep.
Hey guys, I am here with my guy Tim, out here tailgating. Tim, tell me how special this rivalry means to you, this Miles and Morehouse rivalry.
It's actually a big rivalry. I played football when I was in school, so I understand what the guys are feeling and what they're going through right now. It's always a good time when you get to get out to Morehouse.
How much does this rivalry mean to you?
This means a lot. I mean, this game dates back to, 50 plus years ago, and we used to not even play here at this field. It used to be at the fairgrounds, and to see where it has come now, both of these schools, both athletically but also academically and holistically, it's a good rivalry, a good time to fellowship with old friends and meet new friends, and hopefully Morehouse gets a win.
The highlight to me is seeing the band over there, but most important, seeing the brotherhood. We got brothers from 60, 61, 64, 18, 19, I'm 08. So it's just the love, the HBCU, the love, and the family. That's what I love about just this whole atmosphere out here.
So we heard from the fans, now on over to the Battle of the Bands. Interesting twist this year, female drum majors on both sides. Had some good food, good music, a little trash talk, but in the end, Miles came out on top. I'm Nia Sapp with HBCU Gameday.
Well, we missed him last week, but he's back in the saddle. Another edition of BDahtTV, and he's back in the saddle in more ways than one this week. Now, my mother and BJ Jones's mother, this is their favorite segment of the show, and me and BJ are feeling some type of way about this. But still, it's coming up next on the No Huddle here on Aspire TV. Our guy B-Dot was pulling double duty at Winston-Salem State University this past weekend. He was hanging out with the fans for HBCU Gameday, and for the first time in a minute, he was back as the football PA announcer at his alma mater.
This I always envisioned myself coming back, though. I'll tell you that. Straight teeth, a nice crisp shirt on. Shut up, boy. Let me live in my moment. Now, I'm happy to be back, though, man. Seriously, man. Like, just to be back in Bowman Gray Stadium, to get up here in a second and say it's game day in Bowman Gray, that when the cheerleaders get out here, the band get out here, like, it's going to be a great, great feeling, man. I was in there talking to the donors. I appreciate the 1,000 Horns donors that helped to support to WSSU Athletics. And we had a nice meeting with them, and I just told them thank you for everybody that's been supporting me in this journey to try to get back and to just finally get back in the press box, man. It's a lot of people rooting for me. It's a lot of people excited. HBCU Gameday right here on Aspire TV. And listen, these could be future Rams right here. You never know. They out here as recruits for Winston-Salem State. And I was like, listen, who are these cool dudes down here with all this swag? All this sauce dripping out here. You know what I'm saying? So let's see if we can introduce some people and see, put these names in your phone. You might hear these names again one day. What's your name, where you from, and what position?
Kareem Stevenson, States of North Carolina, middle linebacker.
Middle linebacker. You look like a little dog. You see that net? Linebacker all in that net, boy. Linebackers in that net, boy. Okay, what's up? What's your name? Where you from? And what position?
Tess Canada, North Carolina, wide receiver.
Breeze right there, wide receiver right there. Let me see the hands. Put them up. Let me see the diamond. Oh, he's throwing up the stage. He's at 4 times. He's throwing up the 4 times. What's your name? Where you from? What position?
Hey, Isaiah Henderson. Hey, Statesville, North Carolina. Quarterback, you know.
You be throwing them dimes, though.
What, Mr. Big 2? Turn me up, too.
Oh, turn me up. I'm interested. Big 2. Say, throw them things. Are you a running quarterback or passing quarterback pocket?
Threat, baby.
Talk your talk. Hat swag. Statesville look like they got some ballers. All right, let's go. What's your name? Where you from? What position?
William Barber from Statesville, North Carolina. Lockdown corner yard.
Lockdown corner. My boy hit his fangs with nothing on him. That let you know he's an animal out here. Lockdown corner. What number you wearing?
24.
2-4. 2-4 out here. I love it. What's your name? Where you from? What position?
Saquon Miller, Statesville, North Carolina. You already know we repping. Big foes, you already know. Can't nobody get past me. Safety.
Safety right there. Do all y'all play on the same squad?
Yes, sir.
Golly. Like, say what? What's that?
I'm the only eyeball.
That's okay. Now look, y'all team. What team y'all play for? What's the name?
Westard, Ohio.
Okay, y'all gonna win the states?
Of course.
Hey, look them up, man. I'm interested. They look like they got some dogs out there, some killers. There's a lot more recruits out there, man. They here just enjoying the festivities. What year are y'all, real quick? 2020. Now, y'all gonna be Rams, or y'all just looking to see what the potential is? What y'all making y'all decision off of? Let's say potential. Hey, see what we got out here, man. We can use linebackers and quarterbacks and wide receivers and dog safeties. You're right here. Hey, man, HBCU Gameday on Aspire TV. I appreciate y'all, fellas. Real talk. Good luck to y'all. Oh, this is my favorite. This right here is a staple at WSSU. Wait, DP, this is my man right here. DP, look, DP, let the people know what they about to say survival. Let them know.
The greatest of all the land. The livest HBCU on the planet.
Yeah. Get out the way. Here we go. Kick it. I'm going to just walk around. Oh, it is. It is. What's it called? Let them know. Hey, that's how it goes down in Winston-Salem State University, man. The pride of the CIAA. You already know what's going on out here.
Good stuff there, Mr. McLaughlin, but on the field, not so much. The Rams played Catawba last Saturday. They led 14-10 at halftime, but weren't able to score at all in the second half. Catawba scored on a late touchdown to take the lead, and a Winston-Salem State Hail Mary on the final play of the game. That's when they do Hail Marys usually. Came up 2 yards short of a score. Heartbreaker at Bowman Gray. Coming up next, our SWAC insider BJ Jones stops by the studio for a quick conversation on FAMU and Southern, plus other stories from around the SWAC. BJ, just around the corner, right here on the No Huddle. Hey guys, welcome back to the No Huddle here on Aspire TV. I am so jealous because we record this show a few days out from Saturday. And this guy right here in real time right now, he's in Tallahassee, Florida, checking out Southern and FAMU. He's our SWAC insider, BJ Jones. BJ, this was one game that at the beginning of the year, you not pencil, you took a Sharpie and had to put a circle around this matchup, right?
That's right, man. When this game was announced a year and a half ago, this was a must-see. Historic rivalry, two HBCU programs who played annually from the 1930s all the way up until the 2000s. Took a bit of a hiatus, but this is an intense rivalry, a rivalry that the new generation may not know about.
All right, so for people that don't know, BJ played at Southern. You started your football career at UAB, you ended up at Southern. What does this matchup mean for Southern people? We know when you guys get together with Grambling what that means, but this kind of cross-conference, two, proud alumni bases, the bands, we haven't even talked about that, the jukebox versus the marching 100. There's so much on the line. What does it mean for Jaguar Nation?
So when you talk about HBCUs and big HBCU fan bases and HBCU marching bands, two of the names that always come up, Southern, FAMU. You have all of that here. You have two of the largest fan bases. We start talking about HBCU football, best bands, best fans. You combine that, and you start talking about the football tradition. Southern, had their, run up under Pete Richardson. You had Coach Gaither down at FAMU, Billy Joe down at FAMU. Start talking about the Gulf Coast offense. Just so much, man, and the passion and the energy between the two fan bases. They're similar, even though they're in two different conferences.
What's one thing you're going to be watching today between Southern and FAMU?
What I'm going to be looking at is quarterback play. And let's take a look at the quarterbacks in this game. For Southern, you have Ladarius Skelton, starting quarterback. And then for FAMU, you have Ryan Stanley. Ryan Stanley has an opportunity this season to be the all-time leading passer for FAMU. Ladarius Skelton came in like a lightning bolt a year ago, and he led Southern all the way to the SWAC championship game. How much has Ladarius Skelton developed in the pass game? Can he do enough to keep FAMU from loading the box? And then with Ryan Stanley, he does so many things well. Has a great arm, but he's susceptible to the turnover, interceptions. And Southern is an opportunistic defense. Which quarterback is able to have the best day? That's going to determine who wins this ball game.
All right, you're our SWAC insider. Before we let you go, we talked about this earlier. This weekend in the SWAC, you said it's going to be the weekend that how'd you say it?
This is going to be shake the tree. We're going to shake the tree this weekend. Yeah, we're going to shake the tree this weekend. There are a lot of games that's going to help us figure out who's contenders and who are the pretenders. Right here you have Alabama State and Grambling. Grambling making the trip down to Montgomery. Alabama State, they played well the game that we covered against Tuskegee. Didn't go quite as well against Kennesaw State. It didn't get quite grandmother getting out of the tub ugly, like I said, but it was still pretty ugly. Okay, but this week you have Alabama State going against Grambling. That's going to tell us a lot. And then down on the reservation, down in Lorman, Mississippi, you got Prairie View and Coach Dooley going to Lorman to take on the Alcorn State Braves, defending SWAC champions. A lot of people feel like Alcorn might repeat. What does Alcorn look like after losing Noah Johnson against McNeese and taking a loss down in Lake Charles? Let's see how Alcorn, how they respond after a loss. So it's going to be a very, very interesting week in the conference.
Coming back, we're going to talk more about FAMU. We're going to take a little dip in the history machine. Wally Pitt has a little special out there on the Gulf Coast offense. We'll take a look at that when we come back, right here on HBCU Gameday presents the No Huddle on Aspire TV. Oh, it's going to be a good one today in Tallahassee. Man, I wish I could be there. In our last segment, BJ talked a little bit about that time that Billy Joe spent at FAMU and that Gulf Coast offense. It was a sight to behold. In HBCU Gameday last year, we actually did a documentary on that. Let's go back and enjoy that magical time in Tallahassee.
On Saturday, September 21st, Florida A&M and Southern University are set to face off on the gridiron for the first time since 2012. And this year's matchup is giving off some serious late 90s vibes, back when this rivalry was arguably at its peak. Southern took home the Black College Nationals Championship in '97. Both teams shared the Black College title in '98. Southern took home the SWAC in 1999, the same year that FAM almost won it all. Last year, HBCU Gameday looked back at the FAMU Rattlers of 1998 in a documentary titled The Original Gulf Coast Offense. The project featured then Florida A&M quarterback Pat Bonner, who reflected on his transition from the pinnacle of PWI football at the time in the Big East to the explosion of black culture that was HBCU football in the 1990s. The film also took a look back at the FAMU Southern matchup from that same year.
The beauty of it to me was to look up and see 50,000 people that look like me. You know, I played in front of 100,000 at Penn State, but it's nothing like two bands going back and forth, a little trash talking, and just the environment was different. It was fun.
Southern was anxiously awaiting the arrival of the Rattlers. The Jaguars were embarrassed the year before in Tallahassee for homecoming, 33-3 in fact. It was their only loss all season. Southern would force the Rattlers into an old-fashioned shootout, but made the final mistake of giving FAMU the ball with less than 2 minutes to play in the game. Bonner and the Rattler offense would execute to perfection, taking the game down to the last 11 seconds before claiming victory. For the second consecutive year, Southern is stunned by the Rattlers, 50-48.
One thing they had to do was stop the pass, the air attack of the FAMU Rattlers.
The rivalry headed back to Tallahassee in 1999. Billed as the game of the year, the unbeaten SU Jags came back to brag to face off against the 6-2 Rattlers. Southern had brought their band, some rowdy fans, and what FAMU called an air of arrogance, as Southern had proclaimed that somebody was going to get embarrassed, which ended up being very true, but it was Southern who ended up with the egg on their faces as FAMU beat the Jags 65-18, with Rattler quarterback Jawan Sider throwing for 295 yards and 3 touchdowns, while rushing for 156 yards and 2 touchdowns. The win over number 3 ranked Southern put FAMU in the top 10 polls for the next week. This historic rivalry was suspended in 2001, and FAMU and Southern have only met 4 times since then, with the Rattlers leading the all-time series 33 wins to Southern's 26, with 1 tie. Between the bands, the atmosphere, and the talent on the field for both of these teams, the 2019 renewal of this rivalry is 100% can't miss HBCU football.
All right, fans and tailgaters, Winston-Salem State at Tuskegee today. That should be a good one. What in the Pioneer Bowl is going on in Alabama? Delaware State hosting Howard. Could Delaware State really beat Howard? Could that happen today? Who knows? North Carolina Central happy to see Elizabeth City State coming to the Bull City. Tennessee State hosting UAPB. Man, these are not your daddy's Golden Lions. Alabama State hosting Graham Fam in Montgomery. What you gonna do, Hornets? Outside of FAMU and Southern, the game of the weekend might be Alcorn State and Prairie View in Norman, Mississippi. Would love to be in the stands for that one. All right, this weekend, if you want the news, go to HBCUGameday.com. You want the smoke, follow us on Twitter. You want to see what's really going on, head over to our IG. The keyword is HBCU Gameday. If you want a little bit of all that mixed up, then just head over to our Facebook page. And if you need a little swag, man, head over to our Teespring store. It's open 24/7. T-shirts, hats, hoodies, pullovers, everything for you. For the crew, he is I is him. Much love from Atlanta. Don't forget, hang out with HBCU 101 tomorrow at noon with our guy, Jaleel Thurman. On behalf of the entire crew, I'm Tolly Carr. Enjoy that weekend. We'll see you soon.